Welcome, my name is Jesse and you are listening to The Wake Up Call. This show is about opening your eyes to how you've been living, bringing awareness to the standard you've been operating at, and helping you start living to your full potential. There are two ways I'll help you do this. One, by disciplining your mind, and two, by strengthening your body. It's time to take stock of your current performance and go to the next level. Let's do this. Welcome back to another episode of The Wake Up Call. This is episode 172. The topic for today's podcast is why some people change and why others don't. Because there is a very simple reason for it. And it's not like you're going to flick a switch and magically overhaul your life. There's too much nonsense and rubbish information online that people just buy into. And it's quick fix mentality. It's, band-aid solutions. It's all these little things just to try and lure you in. And really, a lot of it comes down to social media preying on the dopamine centers, this feel-good, happy stuff. It's lots of lights, colors, sounds, and, oh, this looks cool. I'll scroll down that. I'll click that button. And then you go down this rabbit hole. And what ends up happening is it gives the illusion that you're making progress. It gives you the facade that you're actually making true change when in reality, you're just kind of spinning your wheels going around in a fucking circle. So for me personally, I don't buy into the whole notion that you deserve to be happy. Nobody deserves to be happy. It's not something that should just be bestowed upon you. I think it's something that you have to truly work at. The notion of, I deserve to be happy. I'm a good person. I deserve it. That is entitled thinking. We have far too much of that in today's society. Everybody thinks they just should get a handout. And I think that's part and parcel of why there are so many people with this thinking. And it's, entitlement. It's people being spoiled brats thinking they should just get handouts and, rewards for nothing. It's participation trophy stuff. And I don't agree with it. And I don't think it's helpful. Reward without effort really does downplay and diminish the whole cause and effect scenario. And that really is how the world works. You do something and then there's a net result, whether it be positive or negative. There's no such thing as progress without hardship. This whole expectancy of, I want everything but for nothing. No, that's not the way the world works. And you'll be familiar with this saying, more than likely. You can't have your cake and eat it too. It's a pretty popular saying. Most of us have heard it. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Do you want to either have it in your hands and hold it and look at it and admire it? Or do you want to grab a fork or a spoon and eat the fucking thing? Those are your two choices. You can have it and hold it and keep it in your hands and, coddle it. Yeah, this is my cake. It's so good. It's mine. It's the precious. Or do you want to fucking eat it and enjoy it and indulge it? Because you can't have those two things. It's one or the other. What do you want? So you can create happiness and you can create sadness in your life based upon what you do and how you decide to live. Because I don't know about you, but I don't have anybody holding a gun to my head saying, Jesse, you must do this. Jesse, you have to do this. It's most of the things that I do in the actions, the behaviors, the choices, and the decisions that I make on a day-to-day basis, they are mine and they are generally mine alone. The buck stops here. It stops with me. And it also stops with you. So that's what we're going to fucking tackle today. And that's what we're going to unpack. I don't think that you deserve inherently to be happy. Do I want you to be happy? Yes, but I want you to also understand that it is you who is going to create that happiness. And if you don't create your happiness, the default will then be life happens to you and you will think of, life is just difficult for me. But in essence, you have let life dictate what happens to you rather than the other way around. And therefore, you will be unhappy with what life gives you. So, how are you going to live? That's the question. Do you want to change or do you not want to change? Because a lot of people say that they want to change. A lot of people are living lives and are in bodies that they are unhappy with, yet they persist. They just let this little niggle, this little irritation, this little problem fester, and they just say, That's me. I'm just going to park the bus here and that's the way it's going to be. They accept where they are and they choose not to change. They choose to live with this level of pain. Okay? Now, my job as a personal trainer, and something that I have always worked on ever since I was young, even since I was, when I was a teenager, I was fascinated about, you know, what makes people tick, what makes athletes better than, the great athletes better than the good ones, what makes, winners and champions. And I would learn about a little bit of psychology and motivational psychology. And one of the things that I do in my job and one of the roles that I have is about behavior change and understanding what makes people tick. This is vital in my line of work. I have to understand how habits are formed, how they are broken, how to get people to change, and how to help people understand where they are in their life. Like I said, some people, they get up in the morning, they hate what they do for work, yet they do it every single fucking day. Why? Because they are happy enough with the status quo. Every single day, people wake up and get out of bed and they look at themselves in the mirror and they're like, fuck, I'm a fat slob, I'm a piece of shit. But they don't do anything about it. Why? Because they are happy enough with their current situation and their current physique, so they choose not to do anything about it. There are some people who get up and maybe they go to training, maybe they play a sport, and maybe they're fucking riding the bench. They're warm, they're fucking riding the pine, they're bench warmers, they're fucking delivering drink bottles, and they're happy enough to do that. They're a bit part player, they're a role player, they're part of the team, but they're not a starter. And they're happy enough with that. And they persist with that life. Do you know why? Because they are happy enough to do that and they're not prepared to get uncomfortable and change things on the training pitch or in their own fucking life to enhance their performance to the point that they can become a regular starter. You're either happy with where you are or you are unhappy with it and you're going to do something about it and change it. That is why people change versus why people don't change. In my line of work, I work with people who want to change, whether it's their physical performance, whether it be strength, fitness, or whether it be more aesthetic based and be body composition. They want to drop some fat, they want to lose some kilos, they want to lower the number on the scale, they want to look a bit tighter, they want to look more muscular. These are the things that I help people with. And sometimes, and a lot of times, it's a combination of those things. They want to be stronger and they want to look more muscular. Or maybe they want to be fitter and as a byproduct, they're going to lose some weight and lose a bit of body fat. But here's the deal. Here's the motherfucking deal, all right? I'm going to lay it out to you straight. If you aren't happy with something, some part of your body, some part of your life, change it. And if you can't change it, change your attitude about it. And if you're unwilling to do that, shut the fuck up. Don't keep talking about how you want to change, how you're unhappy with the situation or your current climate or your current station in life. If you're not prepared to do anything about it, I don't want to fucking hear about it. In fact, nobody wants to hear about it. So when I refer to the word change, I'm talking about some kind of improvement. You are here and you want to be here. Okay? That's what I'm referring to. Just so that we're on the same page with what change is and what it looks like and what it actually means. So the current definition. If you want to change your body, if you want to change your fitness, if you want to change your strength, if you want to change your performance, if you want to change your life, understand that that means upgrading it, leveling up, going to the next level. We're going up. We're getting better. We're not fucking looking at changing and getting worse. Okay? Changing your physique requires you to change your eating habits. That's non-negotiable. Whether you want to build more muscle, you're going to have to change what you eat and how much you eat. If you want to lose body fat, same fucking deal. Same fucking deal. Your calorie intake is going to have to modify. You're going to have to change it. Changing your strength and conditioning means changing your physical and mental training routine. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always got. If you want a better outcome, you have to do a better/different training regimen. Like that's just, for me, that's just so fucking obvious. It's blatantly obvious. Yet people do it all the fucking time. People rock up to the gym and they do the same fucking routine. And if it's not the same routine, they do the same fucking routine as somebody else. You know? Just fucking monkey see, monkey do. If you do what everybody else is doing, you're going to get the same results as everybody else. Is that what you want? Yes or no? Changing your mindset or your mental state is going to entail learning new things and also associating with different people. Some people just aren't prepared to fucking cut dead weight from their life. There's people who they've been hanging around since high school or since TAFE or since the good old uni days, and they're just not prepared to kick them to the curb or hang out with them less or to get a new fucking friendship group. I'm here to tell you, if you don't change anything in your life, nothing about your life will change. Let that sink in for a minute. And let's just revisit this real quick so you can get a fucking full grasp of it, all right? Changing your physique is going to require that you change your nutrition habits, your eating and drinking, okay? That's non-negotiable. Changing your strength and conditioning means changing your physical and mental training routine. You're going to have to do different things inside the gym and outside of the gym. Changing your mindset and your mental state is going to require learning new things, different skills, different hobbies, different, actions and daily rituals, and also the physical and mental side of things go hand in hand. So if you want to build your physical muscles, you're probably going to have to strengthen what's up here as well. And it also means associating with different people. If you need to get to bed early and you're hanging around with people who like to stay up late, do you think that's going to fucking work? That's like mixing fucking water and oil. They just don't go together. If you're a morning person and, you're not associating with people who also live that same lifestyle or that same routine, you're going to be fucking fighting an uphill battle. So you've got to start to go with people and associate with people who are going in the same direction as you want to go. And that might rub a few people the wrong way, but you know what? That's the fucking price you've got to pay. What part of changing any of those things sounds easy? Any of it? A couple bits? Maybe? Yeah, there's probably going to be a few things to be like, all right, that sounds a little bit easier than the other bits. Yeah, I can pick up a book. Yeah, I'm happy to start doing some reading. Or, yeah, I can probably get to bed 30 minutes earlier. And, all right, that'll free up a bit of time so I won't feel so, fucked in the morning. Or I'll have a bit more energy to get up and maybe go for a walk or do a bit of rucking or go for a run. Yeah, cool, I can do that. And then there's other things that are going to be like, whoa, that's pretty scary. That's really going to fucking test me. And do you know what I say to that? Good. If it scares you, if it challenges you, you're on the right path. You're on the right track. But this is the thing. All of these things that I'm suggesting and I'm making mention of here, they're going to force you straight outside of your comfort zone and what you're used to doing. If you've never been in an ice bath before and you just dip your fucking toe in it, you're going to feel one little bit of ice and cold and freshness, or maybe there is a bit of ice and you just feel the sensation of it. You're like, no thanks. Whereas if you just jumped into a fucking freezing lake or a lake that's 2 degrees fucking cold, you've got no choice to accept the fucking cold because you're already in it. It's already fucking surrounding you. Rather than dipping your toe in, you just jump fucking straight in it. I'm in, bang, go. And then you just deal with whatever comes next. But you've made a very clear, conscious decision. If that's what's required, I'm in. Rather than tiptoe, dip a little fucking foot in. No, it's a little bit cold when it gets up to my calf. Or I don't know if I can get it to my knee. You're going to be fucking... It's going to take you a fucking lifetime to make any meaningful change like that. So you've got to get outside your comfort zone. First and foremost, understand that. Get to grips with it. Acknowledge it. Roger that. Okay. And here's the deal. Just because something is unfamiliar to you does not mean that it's going to be hard or that it's going to be the wrong thing. But rather, it's just a different way of doing things. You've been taking a left turn. And instead of taking a left turn, we're going to take a right turn. You might travel the same distance, but you're just going in a different direction. So it may not actually be any harder than what you're fucking currently doing. It's just going to be a foreign concept for you. But like anything, when you started your job, I bet you didn't know how to do everything that you know how to do in it now, right? Correct? Because you practiced at it. You were given an induction or a training process or a manual to read. You practiced it, you repeated it, you went from shit to suck to good to great. Like that's how we get better at things is we start off being shit at them. Understand that and accept it. Like that's just the way it works. It's just a different way of doing things, a new way of living and acting. But if you don't see any benefits in changing what you're doing or changing how you're living, you won't change. And that means nothing changes. If you don't see the positives, if you don't see the benefits, if you don't see how it's going to make you better, you're not going to make any fucking changes because you're just looking at the downside. You're looking at all the fucking negatives. Oh, woe is me. Pity party. Boo me. It's hard for everybody, guys. It's hard for you. It's hard for me. Like, I got in a fucking ice bath yesterday for 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Did I like it? No. Did I do it? Yeah. Because I know the benefits. And that's what I'm chasing. I'm not chasing the fucking, cold, icy water. I'm chasing the benefits of going in the cold, icy water. So that's what you've got to look at when you start thinking about and then eventually making changes to your life. Oh, it means I'm not going to be able to have this food or that food. All right, cool. But it's going to open up a whole new avenue of different foods that you haven't eaten before. And maybe, do you know what? They could be actually really delicious too. Oh, it's going to mean I'm going to have a smaller portion size. Yeah, but it also means you're going to have a smaller waist. It also means you're going to get rid of the fucking beer belly. It also means you're going to actually show off some of that muscle that's been hiding under that layer of fat. See how we can reframe things really fucking quickly? We took all the fucking negatives and we turned them into positives. Bottom line is this. Nothing changes until you change. Everything changes once you change. If you want to become stronger, go ahead and do it. Don't talk about it, just go and do it. If you want to get fit, go and do it. Go and put some fucking shoes on, get outdoors, off you go. Go for a walk. Go for a jog. Go for a ruck. Go for a run. Do some fucking hill sprints. Go. Just do it. If you want to drop fat and get lean, go ahead and do it. Don't know how to do it? Here's a fucking start. Put the fork down. Do some plate pushes. Push your plate away from yourself at the motherfucking table. How about you stop eating when you're satisfied, not when you're fucking full and bloated and in a gluttonous fucking heap? You can do that. Start. Do it now. It begins with a decision. It means that you can no longer accept your current reality and where you're at. And you have to treat it like an agreement to no longer accept the status quo. Like it has to be a real fucking commitment. And it comes down to this. The level of pain you are experiencing is what determines whether you change or not. This is the key for why some people make radical changes to their life and why some people just stay exactly where they are. And in 3 years' time, they're going to look the same, they're going to be the same, they're going to be doing the same fucking thing. Right? The pain to change must be lower than the pain of staying the same. If the pain to change is higher than the pain of staying the same, you won't change. That's what explains why people do or they don't change. The people who change, who uproot their lives, who overhaul their bodies, who shift gears in their career, who change their whole physical and mental identity, and the people who make the greatest transformations, they all have one thing in common. They are in too much pain to stay the same. So they made the necessary changes, whatever they fucking were, whatever the cost was. They did whatever it took because they couldn't continue living the way that they were. Can you? Are you happy with your physical performance right now? Can you keep living every single day with the current level of strength and conditioning that you have? Or is it time to change? Are you happy with your body and your physique right now? The person staring back at you in the mirror, when you've stripped down naked, do you like what you see in the mirror? Can you keep living at your current weight and body fat percentage? Can you keep going with the same amount of muscle that you have on your frame? Or do you need to do something about it? Are you happy with your life as a whole right now? So can you keep repeating the same actions, routines, and the same fucking mundane jobs over and over and over again every day? Or do you need to flip the fucking switch and accept the pain of change and actually get a benefit and actually improve where you're at right now at this moment in time? Because there's going to be pain either way you look at it. Pick your pain. One type of pain serves you here and now, which is the immediate gratification, short-term pleasure. And the other pain is the one about the long-term benefits. This is called delayed gratification. This is where we concentrate and we do things that are going to help us over the long haul, long-term success and happiness. So if you want change, just know that you can. You can do it today, now. But it starts with a physical fucking line being drawn in the sand. Draw the line and say, nope, this current way of living is no longer acceptable. That is the stance you have to take. It is no longer acceptable. You cannot keep accepting low standards and the current way you're living if you wish to change. Change requires change. You might hear that and think, well, fucking no shit. Well, why haven't you changed? I just told you all the fucking reasons. It's not a fucking mystery. Your level of pain has to be the pain to change must be lower than the pain of staying the same. If the pain to change is higher than the pain to stay the same, you won't change. That's the end of the fucking story. Like I said, pick your pain.
If you loved the wake up call, found it entertaining, or got some benefit out of listening, I would appreciate you helping me to spread the word. Please share it with a friend or on social media so that you can pay it forward and give someone else the opportunity to improve themselves like you just have. Thanks for listening. We'll see you soon for another episode.